Welcome back to Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. On their 25th year, teaching people just like you right here in Denver, Bloomington, and Atlanta how to trade and invest in the financial markets, how to make smart investing decisions. And we have investing classes locally here in Denver, Colorado, Bloomington, Minnesota, and Atlanta, Georgia. If you missed tickets for that investing class on the last section, well, guess what? You are not too late because I'll give it away again. Just
Thank
a little
goodness.
different way. You can text right now. So get your phone ready. Text the word invest to the number 484848. When you get set up for this class, you're going to receive some free stock picks that come within a financial quick start kit. So text the word invest to the number 484848. You're going to get a text right back. You got to click that link to get the free tickets, though, and register for that class. So there's 2 steps to that. And Al, we talked about in that last section about, you mentioned inflation is probably going to be around a little bit longer. It just doesn't disappear. Gas prices are going up. Food prices are going up. Clothing, anything you buy these days is going up in price. So we have a lot of listeners that are like, okay, what do I do? How can I offset some of those costs? How can I combat this inflation thing that we're having right now? Well, we're seeing a lot of people right now, right here in Denver, Bloomington, Atlanta, that want to learn about how does the stock market work or other assets work to have income strategies within these markets. So let's talk about that in this section here today. We have, all these different opportunities that are out there for average investors. You have stocks. Everybody knows that, right?
Right.
It's a great asset for people to get into. It requires more capital, though, and that's what most people don't know is stocks require a lot of capital. Let's talk about income strategies. First, real quick with stock, just because I want to make sure our listeners, understand that. But then let's talk about these other assets that allow investors to start with less capital.
Yeah, I guess maybe the first thing, though, that's important for people is to find out whether this is something that is right for them. Is this something that you should do or that provides some benefit for you? And that's where these classes come in. That the things that we do in these classes are going to really show you what the benefits are, the potential benefits, how the markets work. Do you have an interest in this? And is this something you think you can do? Those are the things you need to kind of identify first. And then understand how this can be done in a way that is simplified as much as possible. And that's what we do. There's so many things other than all the headlines I was talking about. There are all sorts of different strategies that are out there that you can use, typically something that's sold to you in a newsletter or in a book. But let's just keep it simple. And think about this. When you see on a price chart, when you see where an order has been placed, in other words, typically that's where you see high volume in something, what that means is it's already been placed. A good part or most, if not all, of the move has already taken place. So the key is to identify where that's going to happen before it happens. And we have a strategy, an investment strategy that does that. Josh mentioned different assets, stocks, options, futures, Forex. The great thing about the strategy that Online Trading Academy teaches is it's the same strategy. It's a step-by-step, rules-based process that you follow regardless of what you're trading. And what that platform should do is not only tell you whether a potential trade or investment is a good, high-quality one, but also if it's a bad one, it should warn you about that. And that's what core strategy does. It really gets down to one thing, Josh, and that's price. I think people understand the concept of supply and demand. If there's more supply of something, price will go down. If there's more demand, it will go up. In the markets, more buyers, price goes up. More sellers, price go down. So the important thing is to be able to identify beforehand where the buyers are going to be active in the market and where the sellers are going to be active. Then you plug in the right asset to trade. For some people, it might be stock. Maybe that's for your long-term retirement portfolio. But as Josh mentioned, having a stock portfolio is very expensive. The cost per share of stocks has really gone up over the years. And then also you have much higher risk. And they really are intended as more of a long-term type of a portfolio.
Yeah, so you talk about these other assets and everything, and they're new for a lot of people. Actually, they're not new. They're just a little bit different, right? So you teach these investing classes, every single week at Online Trading Academy. Locally, we have classes in Denver, Atlanta, and Bloomington. But if someone comes into one of these classes and someone is looking for income strategies, what can someone expect to learn in this class?
Yeah, well, let's first of all understand why somebody would want income. Why do you need additional income? Well, maybe the job you have isn't providing enough income. Maybe there are some things that you would like to do that you're not quite don't have quite enough money to feel comfortable doing. The truly successful people financially have multiple sources of income.
Yeah.
It's not jobs. What we show you how to do is to use the markets, the financial markets, to generate additional sources of income.
I have that potential to do that.
The potential to do that, and if you're going to, if your goal is to generate additional income, well, think about this: if you had a job and your boss told you, okay, you come to work every day and I'm going to pay you in 10 years or 20 years, you're probably not going to take that job. You
Yeah.
need to get paid maybe weekly or monthly or biweekly. But if you know how to use the assets that are designed for income, you have the potential to be able to do that short term.
Yeah.
And futures, Forex, and options are three great strategies that are available to everybody. And to be honest with you, all of the big institutions, all of the big players, the hedge funds, people like Warren Buffett, they are using these assets on a regular basis. But that's not what they put you as their clients into. That's more of that stock long or mutual fund long term strategy, which really is not the best strategy if you're looking for short term income or short term cash.
Yeah. So you mentioned these assets, they are available to everybody. When
Absolutely.
you teach these classes, what type of people do you see come to these classes?
You name it, every personality type you can think. But we have some people that have never traded before that want to see what the benefits are, see if it's for them. We have people that have traded and typically are not consistent in their trades. We have some people that have a very large portfolio. They want to make sure that that portfolio stays with them, but they still know how to grow it and reduce the risk that they're facing when they do that.
Yeah, these classes, they're 2 hours and they're powerful classes about how the market works, as Alice talking about. And if you have more interest in the markets or you have a want for learning these income strategies and these income assets, all you have to do is call in for one of these investing classes. We have these classes locally right here in Atlanta, Denver, and Bloomington. And these are classes where we've taught thousands just like you are many strategies, and these are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions. So get your phone ready. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to get your phone ready to call in for this investing class. When you do that, you're going to receive a financial quick start kit, which actually includes some free stock picks. So call right now. Call 888-682-6466. That's 888-682-6466. We'll have someone that to answer your call and make sure we find a date that works the best for you. So, Al, we talked about these different assets. Let's explain a little bit more what they are. I know you have the futures and the Forex market. They're great opportunities for income strategies. Couple reasons. You have a 24-hour market.
Correct.
It's open round the clock. So say somebody is working during the day, they have the opportunity to trade at night. It's like another source. They also allow leverage, as you were talking about with stocks. It requires a lot of capital. Those have leverage. So let's start out with the futures market. What is the futures market?
The futures market really is a family of things that you can invest in. And with futures, you are not actually buying, you're not taking control of something or ownership of something like you would if you bought a stock. It's basically a contract that you're looking at that is going to determine, or you're going to determine whether you think something is going to be a higher value in the future or a lower value in the future. It allows you to invest in virtually every part of the economy. You can invest in the stock markets, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the Russell, some foreign markets. You can invest in commodities. Commodities, by the way, when we go into this high inflation period and a period of probably recession, maybe you want to look at some things like commodities. There are going to be some things you need to do that are different than maybe what you have been investing in before.
Think about that. Think about the oil market the past, we'll say, month and a half or so. I mean, you look at the oil market, that's been up, I think, what did it get to, $130 per barrel?
Per barrel,
I mean,
right?
it was at, let's just say this, at the beginning of the year, oil was at $72.
Mm-hmm.
At the peak, it was at about $130. That's $60. Let's just say, just in an example, how much capital is there for one contract? Because one contract per dollar is $1,000 of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? $60,000 of opportunity there? Is everybody going to get that? No, but that is there
The
for average
potential,
investors.
right? Yeah. When you go to the gas pump, when you fill up your car and you're complaining and maybe using some colorful language as you watch the total ring up on the pump, think about this. Maybe you could have been making money with that commodity, with oil. There are other things, crops, soft crops, corn, sugar, soybeans. Josh's favorite,
Lean hogs.
lean hogs. You mentioned oil, gold, silver, currencies. You can trade currencies in the futures market. Um, Interest rates. A lot of farmers are futures traders to make sure that when they are planting a crop, they want to make sure that there's a profit for them. So they'll do a futures contract. Companies like airlines, Delta Airlines, for example, needs to know what their fuel costs
Mm-hmm.
are going to be. They'll do a futures contract on fuel. General Mills, Cargill with grains. Well, we have the opportunity to trade as a speculator or investor in those things short term, and that's probably futures probably the best short term asset to trade if you're looking for a very short term income. But it also gives you the opportunity to be really well diversified, and as Josh mentioned, 24-hour trading. But the leverage is huge. All three of these assets, futures, forex, and options, have leverage, which simply means you can have a smaller account with the potential, margin account with the potential to control something that is many times more than that margin account. Leverage can be anywhere from 10 to 1 to 100 to 1 or more, which means you have the opportunity to take a small amount of money, whether you're just starting out or even if you are in retirement or you have a large account and you just want to be, very conservative with what you do, take a small amount and still have the opportunity to participate in something that is much higher than that initial margin account.
Yeah, it really allows more capital efficiency.
Exactly.
Especially like the Forex market, you have 50 to 1 leverage, right? I
Right.
mean, that allows, so if an investor has $2,000, they have the opportunity to control up to $100,000 in the currency market. So that's leverage, just like a mortgage would be, right?
Exactly.
You have a mortgage, you take a small down payment and you control a house. That's leverage. People use leverage in their everyday life. Credit cards, that's
That's
leverage.
leverage
They're
too, right?
using what's the acronym? OPM, other
Other
people's
people's
money.
money.
So it's all about being smart with your capital. And it's not really about working smarter, not harder. It's actually working right.
Working right.
One of my mentors said that one time. It's not about working smarter or harder. It's actually working right. And Al, in these investing classes, you have these. You talk about how the financial markets work and how to get in these markets with consistency, but also confidence, right? How to get in these markets, even if they're a little bit different for you, they're not new, they're just different. So, Al, in these investing classes, they're about 2 hours, and you really open a lot of eyes for people that want to get in the markets that need income strategies. So, callers 1 through 10, call right now, get your phone ready. When you call in right now for tickets for the investing class, you're going to receive those tickets locally here in Atlanta, Bloomington, and Denver. You're also going to receive a financial quick start kit that will help you get started right away. So if you're brand new to the markets, as Al was talking about earlier, that's how you get started. If you've been investing for many years and maybe you just need a boost, that'll potentially help you see what those strategies are. Call 888-682-6466. That's 888-682-6466. Al, these investing classes are pretty fun. I think the last one you were teaching, it was like almost a deer in headlights. People said, I didn't even know that this was available to me.
Right.
You mentioned the commodities market, these opportunities that are out there for people. I mean, they're endless, but you have to learn those skills and techniques. So coming up next, Al, I really want to talk about retirement accounts because we're seeing a lot of people come to these investing classes that have 401ks, they have IRAs, and they're seeing a little bit of red in there. They're seeing a decline in those, and their broker, their advisor, they're not calling them, and they want to know more. How do they protect those retirement accounts? Text the word invest to the number 484848 for these tickets for the investing class and some free stock picks. We'll be right back.